Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with, at last, Jessye Norman, the complete studio recitals, 42 CDs and 3 DVDs. I have to confess, Decca is such a mess. I don't know what's going on with these people. So you've got, this claims to be the complete studio recitals. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but it's not complete. It has other things. Many other things. Now, I understand they're not going to do complete operas. That's fine. But they've done one. Well, sort of. You'll see what I mean when we get there. But it's like, these are supposed to be, let's see, Philips, Deutsche Grammophon, and Decca. And this was supposed to have come out like a year and a half ago. Like all the Decca things. At least it looks like everything that's supposed to be in here is actually in here. Which will maybe a first for Decca. I don't know. At least recently. But let's take the cube out and see what's here. We'll go through it rather quickly. You know, Jessye Norman was an amazing singer. She had a glorious voice. She really did. But she had a somewhat limited range. You know, in terms of interpretively, partly because of, you know, she was big and tall. I mean, both. And so on stage, she was a sort of limit to what she could do, and she tended to, I mean, she was smart about it. She did lots and lots of quirky roles. In fact, I met her, I have to tell you about this when I met her. It was very, very funny. She sang Das Lied von der Erde in San Jose, with the San Jose Symphony under George Cleave, I'll never forget. And it was beautiful. I mean, it was very, very beautiful. No question about it. And I think the tenor was Richard Lewis, I think, who blew the opening of the fifth song. They had to start it a couple times before he got the Wenn nur ein Traum das Leben ist, you know, that business. So anyway, but she was great. And afterwards, everyone was lining up to get autographs. And, you know, I was in grad school and I thought, well, you know, I might as well. So I had my program and I got in line just to say hello. And actually, I didn't have my program. I'll tell you what I had. This is the good part. It wasn't the program that I had. This is what I had was there was a feature on her in like was it Time magazine or Life magazine, one of those, you know, People magazines about Jessye Norman. And they talked about how even though she weighed like 350 pounds, she was doing all kinds of exercise and working out, and she swam and all this stuff. And I don't want to make fun of her weight. I'm fat too. You know what I mean? It's not that. But there was a picture of her doing laps in her swimming pool. And she's in her swimming pool with a bathing cap on. And on the side of the pool, there's this tray with like her breakfast and a glass of orange juice. And she's like toasting with this glass of orange juice, and her head is sticking up, and behind her, because it's being magnified by the water, underwater, is this enormous bulk of something, which was the rest of Jessye Norman. I mean, it was not a flattering picture. And that's the one I had. That's the one I had. So I get in line for the autographs, and she's sitting there. Her autograph was like thwump, you know, thwump. It's like next thwump. You know, she's going. She comes. I get up to her, and I said that was very beautiful. I enjoyed it very much. She said, "Oh, thank you so much." And, you know, I said I would like you to autograph this photo, and I showed her that photo, and she took one look at it, and she said, "That photo." I said, "Yeah, that's the one I had." She said, "Oh my God." She was a very, very good sport about it. And she autographed it. She just laughed. It was really very nice. So it all worked out in the end. And I wasn't trying to like, you know, pull one on her. That was the photo I happened to have. That was the photo. And oh my gosh, it was wonderful. Anyway, so I really liked her as an artist. I liked her because she did a lot of unusual repertoire, a lot of which is not here. And unfortunately, a lot of the unusual repertoire that she did either wasn't recorded or didn't catch her at her prime. Or if it did catch her at her prime, she wasn't working with the best other artists. It was sort of, I don't know, it was strange. I mean, she did all those Haydn operas. They could have stuck the arias in here. I mean, they'd have to do the whole operas because you're not going to believe what's in here. Wait a minute. So remember, this is supposed to be the complete studio recitals. First of all, it's got a whole bunch of live recordings. So to hell with the idea of these being studio recitals. And second of all, it's got a lot of pieces in which she sings virtually nothing. So forget about the fact that they were recitals at all. There are other things. I mean, so let's start with the first few discs are Lieder. There we go. You've got Schubert Lieder, some Mahler Lieder, all with Erwin Gage. playing the piano. The Schumann Frauenleben, which is gorgeous, and the Liederkreis, which is beautiful. French songs by Duparc and Poulenc. They never recorded her Poulenc La Voix Humaine. What a sad thing that was. And then she was a great singer of Brahms' Lieder. That was really one of her incredible strengths. And we've got, let's see, Brahms on three full discs of Brahms. And she knew she was good at that stuff. People weren't singing Brahms' Lieder. I mean, Fischer Dieskau was doing it, but she took those on, and they're tricky. They can be very tricky. And she had that gorgeous, rich, velvety voice that was just beautiful for that music. It's really gorgeous stuff. And we've got Daniel Barenboim playing the piano for some of these things. And that's great. Then we've got, of course, like Schubert stuff with Philip Moll and Richard Strauss, of course. She was a great Richard Strauss singer as well, with Jeffrey Parsons and Applause. Oh, yes. It's a studio recital. It has 5 tracks of applause. So that's just a Lieder, mixed up thing. We're already on CD 9. I am not spending tons of time on this. I'm telling you right now, because it is such a weird collection. CD 10. CD 10 is rather nifty. It's with Jeffrey Parsons, and it's got Haydn's Ariana Anaxos, that wonderful little cantata thing. It's 19 minutes long. It's a very serious piece, large work. And it's got Haydn and Handel and Siegfried Ochs and Mahler and Berg and more Mahler and more Berg and Strauss and some spirituals and Ravel. That's a really cool selection on CD 10. CD 11 is Beethoven, Hugo Wolf, Debussy, and more Hugo Wolf with James Levine piano. CD 12 is the complete Tippett, A Child of Our Time, with Colin Davis. Now, it's wonderful to have that, but is that a studio recital by Jessye Norman? I mean, really? I have a feeling. I seem to recall dimly, I mean, maybe my recollection is faulty, but that there was a Jessye Norman set announced that was supposed to be studio recitals, but that actually wound up, it looks like maybe they changed course in the middle of putting this box together and decided to throw all kinds of other stuff into it, kind of willy-nilly. Studio recitals plus everything non-operatic that she did, except for the stuff that was operatic that they put in here. But, okay. Yes. So we've got Wagner, Tristan and Isolde, Prelude and Liebestod. Twice. You get a couple of them. And the Wesendonck Lieder with Colin Davis and the LSO. Then we've got the Des Knaben Wunderhorn set with Shirley Quirk, with Bernard Haitink. She's not at her best, and he's way past his best. He's got a wobble you could drive a truck through. Not a good Des Knaben Wunderhorn. And Haitink is unusually sleepy and snoozy. That was just, everybody was off on that. Then we've got the complete Schoenberg Gura Lieder with Seiji Ozawa. Now, of course, she's Tova, so she sings, the love songs in part 1, which is lovely. Then she does nothing for the whole rest of the work. I mean, you got to have the whole piece. So, if you're going to have it at all. So I get it, but the complete Gura Lieder, just because she's in it, that's not a studio recital either. It's a live recording. Yes, I was in it. My cough is on that record. So there you go. And then we've got, Berlioz' La Nuit d'été and Scheherazade with Davis and the Elso, one of her famous recordings, beautiful recording. Then we've got, oh dear, yes, okay. We have of Beethoven with Karl Böhm and the Vienna Philharmonic. This is his near-death recording. It's 79 minutes long, but to have her in that work, where she sings only like a tiny snippet in the finale, go figure. Then we've got one of 2 Das Lied von der Erdes. The first one is with John Vickers and Colin Davis. Neither of these Das Lied von der Erdes is perfect, not by a mile. She's the best thing in both of them, hands down. But you've got all the rest of it. John Vickers is so past his prime. He screams his way through the first song. It's almost embarrassing. It really is. And Colin Davis, who was never much of a Mahlerian, he alternates between frenetic and comatose. Abschied is 35 minutes long in this performance. It's really slow. She sustains it. She carries the day. Davis is... Then we've got, Mahler 3, all of it, with Claudio Abbado and the Vienna Phil. It's a not very great Mahler 3 by any stretch of the imagination. It's a dull Mahler 3. She sings O Mensch, the midnight song, and the little two lines in the fifth movement. And that's it. Really. So then we've got Strauss. The Four Last Songs disc with Kurt Masur and the Gewandhaus. One of the great recordings ever made of anything. It's incredibly slow. The tempo is slow. She's incredible. The notes say that you get 2 recordings of the Four Last Songs. One with James Levine. It's not in here. It's not in here, folks. Not here. I looked. I checked. I listened. I tried. I looked for it. I don't know where it is. It's in the notes. It's the only place it is. Then we get another performance of the Beethoven with Schulte. I mean, the stereo one. It's like, okay. I mean, it's better than the Bohm one, but 2? 2? Really? Then we've got Wagner. Tannhäuser, Siegfried Idyll, Tristan and Isolde, again, the Prelude and Liebestod, where she does the Liebestod with the Vienna Phil under Herbert von Karajan. So then there's like a bunch of this is just a compilation disc of sacred songs, and with all kinds of different people. One of those things. Then there's the Missa Solemnis, Beethoven's Missa Solemnis with James Levine, where Cheryl Studer is the soprano, and she's the mezzo. She's the not soprano, along with Placido Domingo and Kurt Mahl. Some people like this. It's got 3 choirs. It's a big festival live recording, I think it is, yes, but with Vienna Phil and all those people, and it's like, let's see, recording Grosses Festspiel Salzburg. Yeah, it's a Salzburg festival thing. And then we've got, let's see, I mean, is it a great Missa? No. And Schoenberg, Erwartung. Well, that's an opera. At least we get Erwartung. And the Bretel Lieder with James Levine. I mean, Erwartung was like one of her signature pieces, and she sings it fabulously. Then we've got another Mahler 3. Another one, this time with Ozawa. It's a million times better than Abato's. It's a very, very good Mahler 3. It's wonderful. And she's her usual wonderful self. But again, 2 Mahler 3s complete. And another Das Lied von der Erde. This is the James Levine Berlin Philharmonic Siegfried Jerusalem one, which is not good at all because of Levine in Berlin. And it's a live recording, not a studio recital. And the voices are way up front. The orchestra is way in back. It's colorless and droopy. And, I mean, Siegfried Jerusalem's okay. She's wonderful. And, I mean, she's not as, she's fine compared to everybody else. But it's not a great Das Lied von der Erde. And it's a pity because it was one of her great roles. And she should have had the opportunity to do a great Das Lied. But she did it twice, and neither of them are up to snuff. She may have known that. I don't know. Then we've got spirituals, lots and lots of spirituals, which she sings fantastically, including, there's another disc of sacred songs, and then more spirituals, called Great Day in the Morning, with like millions of singers. This is like a whole selection of spirituals with all kinds of people. And spirituals in concert. Oh, that's live with Kathleen Battle. Yeah, remember that? And then there's like a bunch of Christmas CDs, like 2 or 3 of those. Yes, lots of music for Christmas, and with A Song in My Heart, her Broadway thing that every American singer has to do one of, and some who aren't American. She wasn't as comfortable in that repertoire as some other operatic singers have been. She had a very statuesque presentation. She was very noble, very, she was sort of like the Elgar of sopranos, or mezzo-sopranos. She just had this noble mente about her that really it was hard for her to just relax and cut loose. It really was. So there's a bunch of these things. And there's, Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are. And she does a whole disc of Michel Legrand stuff. That's nice, on disc 40. And then there's a disc of little sniggly things from other discs. There's Mozart, Non Temere Amato Bene from Idomeneo, and there's another, Chi mi scordi di te, that amazing Mozart aria with piano obbligato with Alfred Brendel playing the piano. Then there's the Ozawa Kindertotenlieder, which is really histrionic. I mean, that's fun. She really goes for it in the Kindertotenlieder. I enjoyed that performance. Some people thought it was too over the top. I like to hear her go over the top once in a while. Songs of a Wayfarer with Haitink and the Berlin Phil. The Wesendonck, 2 of the Wesendonck Lieder with Colin Davis. And then we've got the last disc, which is Cleopatra by Berlioz, the Alto Rhapsody, the Bruckner Te Deum. I mean, what does she do in the Bruckner Te Deum? She goes, T-B-O-Omnes Angeli. Yeah, okay, fine. Next. And then we've got, let's see, Somewhere from West Side Story with Bernstein. And La Marseillaise. She does the Marseillaise. And that's like all kinds of different bits of things. The Olympic Hymn, Faster, Higher, and Stronger. She does the Olympic Hymn with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra and Chorus. Oh, that's nice to know. Then there are 3 DVDs. Live at Hohenem's, which is not a studio recital. And then Jessye Norman at Christmas. And then the Portrait of Jessye Norman, DVD 2, which is, yes, Jessye Norman, a portrait, which is all kinds of stuff, which is fine. If you want to watch her sing it, have it, knock yourself out. I really, my question is, where is that other 4 last songs that they talk about in the notes with James Levine? Not in the box. Must be somewhere else. So there you go. What a weird collection. I mean, do you really want to have 2 complete Mahler 3s just for the 5 minutes that she sings? Well, 8 minutes, okay. That she sings on them? And all that other stuff, that recital stuff, A Child of Our Time. I love A Child of Our Time. Wonderful. Do a Tippett box. You know what I mean? This is weird. This is just because she's involved in it. Don't get it. Can I recommend it? Well, if you are a Jessye Norman fan, yes. If you're anybody else, not really. However great she was, and she was great, and the leader albums are wonderful. It would be really nice, I think, just to have a Jessye Norman leader box that really only has leader, and then maybe some other things. I don't know. I don't even know how to think about it because this is so scrambled. I'm just confused. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.